Alright, here we go. We are doing a WP speedrun. Warrior, Summoner, Black Mage, and Scholar. The goal is 15 minutes, but we will see if we can do that. The last two runs we've done have been 17 because people have been paying half attention, which is kind of funny that they can do that with speedruns. But anyways, after you do it for a while, I guess it just gets it gets easier, but it still keeps things interesting. So let's do it. As I go through, I'll explain the pulls that I do as I do them. For example, right here, the first thing I'm going to do is wait for this to die. And then 2 tom berries will spawn and I'll grab them. And then we move forward. So here they are. And then you pull the next group, and then the beetles. And you AoE them down. Once the beetles die, you move up, pull the next group, and just keep moving. I try and keep about 3 groups on me at a time, at all times. Unless I notice the healer's having trouble keeping up. The idea is to just have as much DPS going out from your AoEs as possible. But of course you don't want to pull the... you want to get critical mass. You don't want to get too many on you, otherwise, of course, you die, and that's never a good thing. By the way, if you notice, there's a little bit of server lag going on right here. So now you just open up the coffer, get some beetles, some free money, 50 gil each, do a flash, they're all on you. Now there's 2 more groups at this point. Given... Uh-oh, aggro. Given the little bit of damage I'm taking, I'm going to go for the 3rd group here. Pop some cooldowns, make it easy. You really just have to judge it as you go. Depending on your healer and your DPS, your speed between mobs will change. I've had some groups where I've had to go pretty literally about half as fast as I'm going now because people just couldn't keep up for whichever reason. It's still good speed though, even with that. Alright. Now we do the first boss, which is just tank it. That's it. Very, very difficult. I usually don't use Defiance because, of course, the more damage you can do, the better. If you're aiming for speed, I'm like being really OCD about speed right now. I just want to see how fast we can get this done. My record so far is 15 minutes, so I'm trying to see if we can match or beat that. The average run, I would say, is between 17 and 18 minutes. This next room, you literally pull everything. Go all the way to the door. It's only 3 groups, so you can handle 3 groups. 4 is when it gets messy. And depending on grouping, like I just tomahawked everything, but depending on grouping, it's always better to flash if you're able to. It's just much cleaner. Then you pick up the oil and you click the rusted device. Of course, one gets missed most of the time. This next area is kind of tricky. You can lose a lot of time here. Just because of the roamers and the casters, it can get pretty tricky to get good positioning, but sometimes you get lucky. See, this guy, he's not always, actually he's normally not here. We're just right here, he's usually doesn't get in your way, but in this case he did, so this might cause a little bit of an issue. We'll find out. I'm just gonna keep going here. Pull up to this corner here and be in the safe spot. So again, this is a 3-group rule. I had the 1 skeleton group, and then I had these casters here, the corrupted, and then the 2 tomberries. 3 groups. And as you can see, I mean, it's pretty rough with the 3 groups too. So I mean, depending on your gear, you may have to do 2. Oh, this guy might die. He's gotta run. He doesn't know. I think this is like his 3rd time doing this dungeon. Sometimes you can skip these trash mobs. I'm gonna see if I can sneak by here. Nope. So he's gonna grab it, and I'll just pull these back. I need to pull these back to avoid the big guy. A lot of people don't know how to handle those tomberries well, but honestly, they're just annoying to begin with, so. Usually what you want to do is just run away and try not to be in their line of sight, because if they're chasing someone else and you're behind them, then, you know, behind the person that they're chasing, and you're in front of the tomberry, when they stop chasing the other person, they're going to go right after you, and then they're going to just get pulled like really far, and you can literally pull them all across the dungeon, which is not what you want to do, so just watch your positioning on those guys. Yeah, I don't know the name of the cure for scholars. There we go. In this next room, we saved LB for it because we pulled 4 groups here. And remember the 3-group rule. We're breaking it. Just for this room. Because with LB you can usually manage to do it. You can usually manage 4 groups, but it's still pretty rough for the healer. And if that wasn't enough, there's a caster in the group, so you have to do some line of sight trick to pull the casters on top of everything else. Garuda had aggro on this caster. That happens a lot actually if you group with the summoner. So yeah, just kill them all before they kill you and you'll be all set. We're making good time. I think we'll be just over 15 minutes, which is not bad at all. Not bad. Being timely on that last hall, and all the halls really, is really important because there's a giant tomberry, especially in that hall, because he spawns at the very beginning. So that's not a very big hall at all. So if you're going a little slower than normal, or if you die there, then you start to have to deal with him, and it's not a fun hall to have to worry about a tomberry. Because he chases you with his giant butcher knife, and you know how that ends. Usually with an arrow to the knee. Yeah, I know, that's overused. This guy, we just burn him, we ignore the ads. Mage, the black mage, sleeps once there's more than 3 or 4 on me. And it's just burn, burn, burn. See, now they're all slept. We just ignore them. And down goes the Tomberry King. And you get 100 tombstones of philosophy and 30 mythology for the whole dungeon. This last guy is the one that drops the mythology. Cannot receive any more because I'm capped. But anyway, that's it. That's how you speedrun WP. If you want to see more speedruns in the future, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Anytime I figure out a way to do a good speedrun or beat some challenging content, I'll be sure to post it. Until next time.